To what extent will AI damage the UK recruitment industry in the next 5 years? The United Kingdom's recruitment industry is no stranger to disruption. Over the decades it has survived recessions, regulatory upheaval, the rise of the gig economy, the emergence of LinkedIn, and, perhaps most traumatically of all, the period when every office in Britain seemed determined to call itself an agile talent solutions hub rather than simply a recruitment agency. But artificial intelligence, AI, arrives not merely as another technological twist in the tale, rather, it is a potentially existential challenge that touches every stage of the hiring life cycle. Whether AI ultimately damages the industry, reshapes it, or perhaps even improves it depends largely on the extent to which current trends accelerate, how both clients and candidates react, and how well recruitment firms adapt. Over the next 5 years, AI will undoubtedly transform the recruitment ecosystem. The question is not if, but how much, and what kind of damage, temporary disruption, structural change, or outright displacement, will occur. This essay explores that question in depth, analyzing the functions of the UK recruitment industry, the present capabilities and limitations of AI, the economic and regulatory context in which recruitment firms operate, and the plausible evolution of the sector from now until the end of the decade. A small portion of humor is included, as instructed, just enough to lighten the mood without turning the UK's £40 billion talent acquisition industry into slapstick. 1. The recruitment industry, a brief character sketch. Before assessing the impact of AI, it is important to understand the nature of the industry under threat. The UK recruitment industry is broad, fragmented, and profoundly human-dependent. It is also, let's be honest, an industry with mixed public relations. To some businesses, recruiters are essential partners who locate rare skills, navigate complex labor markets, and reduce hiring friction. To some candidates, they are helpful career Sherpas. To others, they are the people who ring at 7:02 a.m. claiming to have the perfect role that later turns out to be a 3-month contract in slough for 40p more per hour. The industry performs several core functions. Sourcing, finding candidates through databases, job boards, networking, social platforms, and direct outreach. Screening, reviewing CVs, conducting interviews, and filtering talent. Matching, pairing the right candidate with the right role, sometimes more art than science. Process coordination, scheduling interviews, chasing feedback, managing offers, and doing all the administrative labor clients loathe. Advisory work, market insights, salary benchmarking, helping candidates and employers refine expectations. Human rapport building, trust, coaching, reassuring, persuading, and occasionally talking a panicked candidate down from withdrawing their application 12 minutes before signing the offer letter. These elements vary in how easily AI can replicate or replace them. Sourcing and screening, for example, are highly automatable. But persuasion, emotional intelligence, and interpersonal negotiation are, at least for now, areas where human recruiters retain a strong comparative advantage. Over the next 5 years, the question is not whether AI can do something in recruitment, it already does, but the degree to which it undermines the value proposition of traditional agencies. 2. Which AI capabilities threaten the recruitment status quo? AI is often spoken of as a monolith, but it consists of multiple interacting tools and techniques. Several of these have direct implications for the recruitment industry. 2.1 Large language models, LLMs. These models can already analyze CVs, summarize job descriptions, propose salary bands, draft outreach messages, generate job adverts, and even simulate interview responses. In many agencies, this work consumes more than half of the billable hours. AI does it instantly, without needing lunch breaks or complaining about the number of unqualified applicants. 2.2 Predictive matching algorithms. Tools already exist that match candidates to roles with increasing accuracy by analyzing skills, experience, career trajectories, and cultural fit indicators. In theory, they remove the need for armies of sources. In practice, these tools will only become more accurate as they learn from larger datasets. 2.3 Automated first-round interviews. Video-based AI interviewers are now capable of evaluating communication, problem-solving skills, and role-specific knowledge. Some even analyze facial expressions and vocal patterns, though the ethical issues hovering around these systems are large enough to need their own postcode. 2.4 Intelligent workflows. AI can automate everything from interview scheduling and reminder emails to background checks and onboarding paperwork. These workflow optimizations reduce the necessity for back-office recruitment staff. 2.5 Chatbots and candidate assistants. Candidates can interact with AI systems that answer questions, prepare interview notes, suggest career paths, and even guide them through application processes. Recruiters once held a monopoly on this support function. That monopoly is now evaporating. Each capability alone disrupts a slice of the industry. Combined, they create the most significant challenge to the traditional recruitment model since the invention of the CV. 3 areas of the industry most at risk. The impact of AI will not be evenly distributed. Some segments of recruitment are more vulnerable to disruption than others. 3.1 High volume, low skill recruitment. This segment, warehouse operatives, hospitality workers, customer service representatives, and so on, relies heavily on process efficiency rather than nuanced candidate relationships. AI is ideally suited to automating repetitive tasks. CV review, applicant tracking, skills testing, scheduling, offer generation. Large employers increasingly adopt end-to-end AI-driven hiring platforms. For example, a major retailer might accept applications via chatbot, evaluate applicants through automated questions, and schedule interviews without a human recruiter lifting a finger. Agencies operating in this space are therefore at high risk of revenue erosion as clients move in-house with AI-enabled systems. 3.2 Contract recruitment. Contract recruitment is driven by speed. The fastest agency often wins, not necessarily the best. AI-powered search and matching tools introduce a major advantage for large firms capable of leveraging scale. Smaller agencies dependent on manual search will struggle to compete. Imagine 2 recruiters. Recruiter A, with an AI assistant that screens 10,000 CVs in 1 minute. Recruiter B, who insists on manually opening each CV in Microsoft Word and reading it aloud while sipping tea. One of these recruiters is unlikely to remain employed for long. 3.3 Internal talent acquisition teams. Many employers have built in-house recruitment teams over the last decade to reduce agency reliance. AI further strengthens this trend. With AI, internal teams can match external agency productivity at lower cost. Hiring managers can run AI-assisted sourcing themselves. HR can centralize workflows, reducing bottlenecks. This means that agencies may lose clients not because of poor performance, but because AI makes self-sufficiency more attractive to businesses. 4 areas likely to survive, at least in the medium term. Despite the risks, several niches in the recruitment industry will remain resilient over the next 5 years. 4.1 Executive search, headhunting. At senior levels, recruitment becomes less about CVs and more about subtle dynamics, politics, trust, negotiation, and personal chemistry. AI may suggest suitable executives, but persuading a CFO to defect from her stable multinational role to join a high-risk startup with a charismatic but chaotic founder is a delicate art. Machines can identify talent, but they cannot yet handle confidential coffees, quiet persuasion, or reading a room that includes 3 board directors and an agitated chairman. 4.2 Highly specialized technical roles. Some sectors require domain expertise so specialist that AI cannot easily discern genuine capability from buzzword addiction. For example, defense engineering, niche scientific roles, deep technical cybersecurity, heritage systems programming. COBOL programmers do still exist. Recruiters with deep networks and long-standing personal relationships retain an advantage. 4.3 Relationship-based recruitment. Where long-term rapport matters, such as creative industries, boutique agencies, or markets where trust and reputation are paramount, humans remain indispensable. AI can automate tasks, but it cannot replace the recruiter who knows that a candidate will thrive in a certain team because their humor matches the manager's sarcasm levels perfectly. 4.4 Roles subject to high regulatory scrutiny. Some positions require not only vetting but also complex judgment calls that AI may not be legally permitted to make, such as childcare roles, certain government positions, and placements requiring intricate compliance oversight. These pockets of resilience will shrink over time, but over the next 5 years they will provide safe havens for recruiters who adapt intelligently. 5. The damage, what AI is likely to do to the industry. The recruitment industry will not collapse, but it will contract, consolidate, and transform. The damage will manifest in several ways. 5.1 Reduction in agency revenues. As clients automate internal processes, the volume of outsourced recruitment will decline. Smaller firms will struggle to keep pace with AI investment and may shut down or be absorbed by larger players. Fee compression is inevitable. When AI does much of the sourcing and screening, clients will argue, often correctly, that agency markups should fall. 5.2 Fewer administrative and junior roles. The first casualties will be resources, administrators, and junior recruiters. AI tools can already generate shortlists faster than humans. In 5 years, the number of entry-level recruitment positions could fall substantially. Recruitment may become a profession where fewer people earn more money by handling only the hardest, most nuanced parts of the job. 5.3 The rise of hybrid recruiters. Recruiters who survive will be those who embrace AI as a partner, not an adversary. They will automate tedious tasks, use predictive analytics to guide clients, harness AI to produce better job adverts and outreach messages, maintain the human relationship element. Recruitment will shift from task execution to strategic talent advisory. The human recruiter becomes less of a CV shuffler and more of a consultant who understands talent markets, employer branding, and human psychology. 5.4 Increased competition from AI-driven platforms. AI-native recruitment platforms will appear, some already exist. These platforms reduce friction, lower cost, and provide near-instant candidate matching. Agencies unable to differentiate on service or niche expertise will be vulnerable. 5.5 Algorithmic bias and compliance risks. Ironically, AI may also damage the recruitment industry indirectly through new liabilities. If AI screening tools display bias, discrimination cases may target both employers and agencies. Regulatory scrutiny is increasing, and recruiters reliant on AI tools will need to demonstrate fairness, auditability, and transparency, terms not traditionally associated with the average recruiter's inbox. 5.6 The commoditization of sourcing. Perhaps the most significant damage will be the loss of sourcing as a value proposition. Historically, agencies justified fees through superior candidate access. AI erodes this advantage by democratizing search. A hiring manager equipped with an AI-powered tool can, in theory, produce the same shortlist that once required 3 recruiters, 2 job boards, and a motivational poster. Reading teamwork makes the dream work. 6 Counter-arguments. Why AI won't destroy recruitment completely. Despite the doom-laden predictions, AI will not completely obliterate the UK recruitment industry. Several forces will act as counterweights. 6.1 Human behavior rarely changes as fast as technology. Even if AI tools become technically capable, adoption is another matter. Many hiring managers lack time, dislike complex software, fear compliance missteps, prefer human reassurance, or simply cannot be bothered to learn a new system. Technology advances rapidly, human laziness remains consistently robust. 6.2 Trust is a human commodity. When a business risks hiring the wrong person, especially for senior or sensitive roles, trust in human judgment becomes critical. Recruiters often act as mediators, translators of corporate culture, negotiators, psychologists, and occasionally emergency therapists for anxious candidates. AI can support these functions, but it cannot genuinely replicate them. 6.3 Regulatory resistance. The UK government is relatively cautious about heavy-handed AI deployment. Rules around bias, fairness, and automated decision-making may restrict how aggressively AI is used in recruitment. Some roles may legally require human oversight. 6.4 The candidate experience problem. Candidates repeatedly complain that recruitment processes are already impersonal. A system that includes AI chatbots, AI interviews, AI-generated rejections, AI-driven scheduling may lead to a backlash. Human recruiters may become valuable simply because they are human. A candidate who has spent 45 minutes talking to an AI avatar that looks like a floating orb may find enormous comfort in hearing a real voice say, "Don't worry, I've seen far worse interviews." 6.5 Are is blind spots. AI has limitations. It struggles with context that humans consider obvious. It cannot always distinguish genuinely talented candidates from those who write extremely flattering CVs with the help of, ironically, AI. It can misinterpret nuance in career history, motivation, or cultural fit. These weaknesses ensure that humans remain part of the process, even if in reduced numbers. 7 The most likely scenario for the next 5 years. A balanced view suggests the following. 7.1 The recruitment industry shrinks, not collapses. Revenue may fall by 10–25% across some segments, particularly high-volume sectors. Firms reliant on manual processes will struggle, those investing in AI will consolidate market share. 7.2 The role of the recruiter evolves. Recruiters become advisors, negotiators, brand ambassadors, candidate experience specialists. Transactional tasks automated by AI will be replaced with human-centric responsibilities that add real value. 7.3 A two-tier market emerges. Tier 1, AI-heavy, transactional recruitment. cheap, efficient, high volume, mostly automated. Tier 2, high-touch human recruitment. Premium services for roles where relationships and judgment matter. 7.4 Candidates use AI to level the playing field. Candidates will increasingly use AI to refine CVs, prepare interview responses, tailor applications, identify ideal roles. This creates an arms race between AI-enabled applicants and AI-driven screening systems. Recruiters may find themselves acting as referees rather than gatekeepers. 7.5 Consolidation in the agency market. Large agencies with AI investment capacity will acquire smaller firms. Boutique agencies specializing in niche expertise will endure. Middle market generalists will be squeezed from both sides. 8 Will AI damage the industry? Yes, but not fatally. To return to the essay question, to what extent will AI damage the UK recruitment industry in the next 5 years? 8.1 The damage will be significant but not terminal. AI will eliminate many back-office roles, suppress agency fees, reduce reliance on human sources, push clients toward internal AI-driven hiring, commoditize parts of the process, increase competitive pressure, and cause consolidation and contraction. However, AI will not fully replace relationship-driven consulting, take over senior hiring, completely eliminate human judgment, eradicate specialist recruitment firms, or satisfy candidates' need for empathy and guidance. 8.2 The industry will adapt, mostly. Recruiters have historically adapted to every technological shift, even if some complained loudly along the way. The ones who refuse to adapt will indeed be damaged, perhaps to the extent of early retirement, career change, or pursuing a dream of opening a craft gin distillery. But the industry as a whole will survive, in leaner and more modern form. 8.3 Damage may be overstated. A final point: industries often overestimate the destructive potential of new technology in the short term and underestimate it in the long term. Over 5 years, AI will cause disruption. Over 10 years, it may cause transformation. The real existential threat may lie beyond the 5-year horizon. 9 Conclusion. AI will undoubtedly reshape the UK recruitment industry, but the narrative of total destruction is overstated. The damage will be significant, especially for high-volume and generalist segments, with automation eroding labor-intensive processes. Revenues may fall, roles will disappear, and the value proposition of traditional recruitment will be contested by AI-driven platforms. Yet recruitment is not merely a process, it is a human interaction, a negotiation of expectations, emotions, egos, risk, and aspiration. AI can enhance, accelerate, and optimize, but it cannot replace the human art of understanding people. Those recruiters who embrace AI as a tool rather than an enemy will thrive in a transformed industry. Those who resist may find their business model fading into irrelevance. So will AI damage the UK recruitment industry in the next 5 years? Yes, substantially. But destroy it? Not even close. The future recruiter will be part technologist, part psychologist, part market analyst, and, ideally, still capable of answering the phone before lunchtime.